working through Chapter 15 related questions, and now we're going to come to a few more, at least to start us out with, talking about contributions. So again, these may require you to go back a little bit and look at some more notes in the book and the PowerPoint slides, but we're going to give some examples of, as you compare that or as you get that information, how you'd go about working through some of these decisions. Right, so Mr. and Mrs. Lowry, both age 60, each make the maximum contribution to their traditional IRAs. Mr. Lowry is an active participant in a Section 401k plan, but Mrs. Lowry is not an active participant in any other qualified plan. If their joint AGI before any IRA deduction is $144,900, compute their AGI. All right, so probably the easier of the calculations, or it is the easier as far as calculations is concerned, is we need to look at Mr. Right, because Mr., and I'll just circle it here maybe, Mr. is an active participant in a 401k plan. So what does that mean? No deduction for IRA. You can't get a double deduction. Right, so since he's already an active participant in a traditional 401k plan, there is going to be no deduction for Mr. Lowry. Okay, but now we need to look at Mrs. Lowry because she does not participate. So under normal circumstances, because they are both age 60, she could be able to make a $6,000 contribution and then have $1,000 added onto it. Right, so she'd be able to make a maximum contribution of $7,000. Okay, so now we need to look at, are they over the AGI limit? And this is something that's better. So there, we'll put what they have. They had the $144,900. It's actually less than $198,000, which is the limit. So since they're below the AGI limit, right, they're going to be able to use the $7,000 of the deduction for Mrs. Right, so if we take the $144,900, reduce it by the $7,000 adjustment, that leaves us $137,900. So C is going to be the answer to that. That is going to be their adjusted gross income. Again, these take practice, I know, but we're just introducing you to different ways and different, I guess, positions that these taxpayers are in. So Mrs. Jorlin is a 30-year-old single taxpayer. Her $3,760 AGI is the total of $7,940 of interest and dividend income from a trust fund, $4,190 income from a rent property, and $8,370 loss from a new business that she started this year. Compute Mrs. Jordan's maximum IRA contribution. So normally it would be limited to either the maximum contribution or earned income. So let's look at these things. $7,940 of interest and dividend income from a trust fund, right? Unearned. $4,190 from a rent property, that's unearned. The $8,370, if it had been income from the new business, that would have counted, but it's a loss. So she has no earned income. How much can she contribute then? Right, $0. Okay, so 23 here is Peter's a 20-year-old college student. His AGI consists of $12,000 interest and dividend income from a trust fund and $4,180 of wages from a part-time job. Compute Peter's maximum IRA contribution. So I'm going to let you hit pause here, and it works the same in a lot of the ways. At least the limit does. Okay, so you really should have got the answer. It's going to be limited to the $4,180 of wages from earned income. Right, that 12,000 interest is unearned. Okay, so let's look at 24. 24 says Mr. Paul, age 73 and single, earned a $150,000 salary as a university professor. He no longer participates in the university's qualified retirement plan. Which of the following is true? Well, we could do some calculations about what he could take, and I think these technically may need to be adjusted anyway, but it doesn't really matter because Paul is 73. He cannot make an IRA contribution. He's over the age limit. That's the key. 25 says Mr. and Mrs. Pointer, ages 45 and 46, each contributed their maximum $6,000 to their traditional IRAs. Each spouse actively participates in an employer-sponsored qualified retirement plan. Compute the deductible IRA contribution on their joint return if their AGI before such deduction is $113,970. Right, so let's look at that and compare that up here. So in this case, Mr. Lowry up here cannot participate because he was a participant in the Section 401k plan. Well, down here, they're actually participants in employer-sponsored qualified retirement plan. So this one gets kind of tricky. So they are able to participate and make their contributions, the $6,000 contributions each. Again, there's more in the text, but that's the key difference, is a different type of plan. What they run into here is the fact that we need to look at what their AGI is. So the AGI is 113,970. That is actually over the limit of 105,000. So what you're going to do here, you're going to take this, you're going to take the difference and you're going to divide it by $20,000. I can't remember if that's directly in the formula they give you, but the reason you're dividing it by $20,000 is the range of the phase out is from 105,000 to 125,000. So that's a $20,000 range. So you want to find out how much over the beginning range they are over the what percentage that is of the total range. Right, so we're going to find out that's 0.4485. 0.4485, and we multiply by each of these. That's going to tell us the amount of each that's not going to be deductible. So when I did that math, I came up with $2,691. Right, and that's going to be not deductible part. That's how much they are into the range. So if we take for each of them $6,000, subtract the 2,691, they're each going to get, what's that, $3,309 each is going to be deductible. So you multiply it by 2. So their deductible amount is going to be $6,618. Right, so that is option C. So let's just go through that again. So you first figure out how much they are over the range, that dollar amount divided by the total range, which is a $20,000 range between 105 and 125,000. So they're 0.4485 or 44% over the limit. So you take that amount of each of their contributions and find out 2,691 is not deductible for each one. So in other words, for each one, what's left is the $3,309. So since each of them have the same amount, you can simply multiply that by 2, and the total amount that's going to be deductible is $6,618.